With just over 500 million users and 250 million monthly active users, LinkedIn has quickly become the world's biggest business networking platform, and it is basically a goldmine when it comes to B2B marketing. And in today's video, we're going to break down LinkedIn step by step, taking you from a beginner to expert all in one video, so you can go out there, use LinkedIn to find leads and close deals using LinkedIn. So stay tuned. Okay, so in today's video, we're actually going to jump into LinkedIn and we're going to break down everything LinkedIn. So I'm going to take you from a absolute beginner that knows nothing about LinkedIn, because I know at the start I was super confused when I was using LinkedIn. So we're going to jump into my computer and we're going to go step by step on how to use LinkedIn, how to find leads and how to reach out to them, all that sort of stuff, what a first degree, second degree, third degree connection is, all that stuff. So without any further ado, let's jump straight into my computer. I'll see you in a second. Okay guys, so here we are on my actual profile. So if you guys are familiar with LinkedIn, you guys know, well, should know that this is, your profile section. Basically, you want to go ahead and fill out your profile as much as you can. Now your profile is really important because people are going to be looking at your profile. So right off the bat, you can see my profile, you can see my name straight away, a professional looking profile picture. Please make sure you have a professional looking profile picture. If you don't even bother to put a professional profile picture on, no one's going to take you serious. I mean, mine's not the most professional, I guess, but it's not too bad. I can do better than this. But I just don't have any really crisp high definition profile pictures or pictures that I can actually use as my profile picture. So I actually recommend using a cover photo, something like this, because let's say when someone visits your profile on desktop or something like that, or mobile, they can still see it. It's not as clear on mobile, but you can still see it, especially if they swipe down. If they swipe down, it actually enlarges the picture. Anyway, I just made this on canva.com. So if you go to canva.com, basically, Canva.com is a free picture editing software where you can basically create all your like designs and stuff. If you just type in LinkedIn, like linked, you can actually see that it pulls up a LinkedIn template. You can then go ahead and just go and use a website such as Pixabay to basically download a stock free image. Download a stock free image, upload it into Canva, and then add some text to it, and then you'll end up with something like this. Forgive me for my slow Wi-Fi, by the way. Anyway, as you can see, you want to fill out all your details basically. So you want to fill out your headline. You want basically this is getting a little bit old now. Everybody does this. You kind of want to switch this up. I'm actually going to change this soon. So you want here your tagline, basically what you do. So you help, and then whatever niche you're in, and then get X, Y, and Z result. So in my example, I help private dentists to generate high ticket patients through paid traffic ads and sales funnels. I didn't want to say digital marketing because as soon as people see digital marketing, it's kind of like an off-put. The word marketing, in fact, it's just got so much stigma around it, I guess, and nobody really likes it. So I'm not going to give you a full breakdown of LinkedIn, but I'm just going to give you the most important bits. A connection, there's actually 3 different types of connections. There's a first degree connection, second degree connection, and third degree connection. So a first degree connection is someone you are actually connected with. They are in your network. You can then send messages to them back and forth. A second degree connection, like Mr. Iman Gadget over here on the right hand side, is a second degree connection, meaning we aren't connected yet, but we have a connection in common. So it's basically like me and him we share people in our networks, but we aren't directly connected ourselves. It's kind of like on Facebook when you have a mutual friend. It's kind of like that. And then a third degree connection, like Mr. Ollie here, Mr. Ollie Chapman, is basically a third degree connection is basically when you have nobody connected in common. So you don't have no mutual friends or anything like that. You don't have anybody that's in their network or in your network that are a common connection, so you don't have no mutual connections whatsoever. So it's a little bit harder to get a third degree connection to accept your connection request, especially if you don't actually add a connection invite message. That's just because obviously it's the internet, and people, you know, are a bit weary about accepting people who have nobody in common. It's like a complete stranger asking to basically connect with them, but it's not too much of a problem. I haven't had any troubles with it so far. So basically this is the basic LinkedIn, probably what you guys all have. I will jump into a sales navigator in a second, but basically you want to fill out your profile and stuff like that. Here's your dashboard. You can see some of like your analytics, how many people have viewed your profile, how many posts you've got, how many search appearances you've got and stuff like that. Then if you scroll down, it shows you your activity and stuff like that. It shows you your experience. You add this in yourself, and then this is the skills that you add in yourself, and then people can then endorse you if you're good at that particular skill. So that's kind of it for your actual profile. So if you go over to your networks tab over in the top here, you can actually see who you're connected with. So you can see I've got 346 connections. You can see that I've got 19 invitations. I should be accepting these. You can see who's been accepting my invitation connects and stuff like that. It also gives you recommended people to connect with based on what you've been searching for and who you've been connecting with and stuff like that. All works within the LinkedIn algorithm. Now, as you can see at the top, we've also got jobs, but we're not going to be covering that because I am teaching you guys how to use this as a lead generation tool. As you can see, we have messages and notifications and then your profile here. So anyway, let's jump into the sales navigator, which is the best part of LinkedIn. So as you can see, this is what it looks like when you first click on your sales navigator. Now, sales navigator is basically the premium version of LinkedIn. It actually costs, I believe it's £70 or £69 in the UK. I'm not too sure what it costs in America. I believe it's something, I think it's probably the equivalent or something like that. As you can see on the left here, we have basically we can filter our updates, basically our news feed. It's kind of like a news feed like Facebook, where basically we can actually filter and see what's going on around our network and stuff like that. But I'm going to concentrate more on how to actually use this as a lead generation tool. So as we can see here, we've got a toolbar that's saying we can either search for keywords or do a Boolean search. Now a Boolean search is basically, it basically allows you to put two keywords together and create your own unique like search term. I'll give you an example of that in a second, but we're going to jump over to this advanced section because this is what I would want you guys to use primarily. Now what you can do is you can either search for leads or accounts. Leads are basically people, accounts are basically business profiles. So people profiles, business profiles. We want to be looking for leads, which are actual people, like actual business owners. So this is why we go ahead and get Sales Navigator, because of the way you can filter down your searches. Now, let's say we want to find real estate. Let's say we're in the real estate niche and we want to find some leads in the real estate niche around, let's just say New York, because New York is just a beautiful city, I guess. So I know right off the bat a few keywords. This bit is very important because the keywords are basically what makes or breaks your search. It's very important to get your keywording down because, for example, a dentist could call themselves a dental owner or a dentist owner, or they could call themselves an orthodontist. They can call themselves a periodontist. They can call themselves a principal dentist, all those sort of keywords. So I'll give you an example for the real estate niche. I know in the US they call themselves realtors, whereas in the UK they call themselves real estate agents. And I know that in the US, they probably still call themselves real estate agents. And in the UK, there are a few people, not many though, that call themselves realtors. And what we can do is combine both of those keywords using a Boolean search. Now, how you do that is you put the little quotation marks and then you type in realtor, close it, and then you want to put or. Now, capital or basically means it's going to search for either or of these. So it's going to add to your search. Or if you do and, this basically means it's looking for profiles that have the word realtor and real estate agent in. But we don't want that because I'm not too sure how many results that would bring up. But as you can see at the top right, if we just type in realtor, we have 878,000 results. Whereas if we type in or, and then we put in another quotation, and we put in real estate agent, and then close that, we can see that the search results jumps up to 1.1 million. Now, of course, we need to start filling out some of these other boxes. So past lead activity, because I've been doing this regularly, I want to remove all the viewed leads from my search, because if I've viewed them, I've probably contacted them, and I want to remove contacted leads from my search because I'm looking for new leads. If I was looking for leads that I've already contacted or viewed, then I would obviously remove these two search filters. Now we can obviously choose where we're going to be targeting these people. Let's just say we're going to target New York, like I said. As you can see, that narrows it down a little bit. Now what I like to do is, if I'm searching for new leads, like I said, I will search for 2nd degree connections and 3rd degree connections, because 1st degree connections would be people I'm already connected with, and I want to find new leads. So I'm trying to find leads that are 2nd and 3rd, basically not 1st degree connections. So industry, what I like to do sometimes is I like to add in real estate, because sometimes what happens is, with this sort of search terms, it's great, it's powerful, but sometimes it can pull in the wrong type of people. So it can actually type in real estate agent marketers, so like people who are running like a marketing agency that's catered towards real estate agents. Whereas if you put real estate in, it kind of narrows it down, but again, still not 110% accurate. It's probably like 99% accurate. Of course, you're going to always get that, or 1 or 2 people that slip through the gaps, but that doesn't matter too much because we can filter that out ourselves. Now, this is one of the best bits about Sales Navigator. This alone is worth its price right here. You can actually set the seniority level, so you can actually find the owner of a real estate agency, or you can find the directors, the CEOs of, or whatever you want to call them. You can find partners, and you can find vice presidents and stuff like that. Now these bits here I normally keep blank. These bits here I normally keep blank as well. Company I keep blank. I normally keep this blank. I normally keep this blank, and I normally keep this blank. Now, of course, if you guys want to fiddle around with these boxes here, you can do, but I normally just use this box. Again, you could just, company type, you can pick a public company, privately held, non-profit, whatever you are looking for. But like I said, I like to keep that blank. I just like to go a little bit broad. What I like to do is 11 to 50, 51 to 200. And because we're in the real estate niche, a real estate agent that has around 5 different realtors in, or real estate agents, will still probably be able to afford our services. So just because of the sheer prices of houses around New York, so I would actually keep that in just like that, and I'd actually just ignore these. But you guys can play around with this and switch everything up to your own liking. And then obviously we click search. And as you can see, it's basically filtering our search right down to the very specific people. Now, as we can see, we have 1,483 results here. It's saying 57 of those people have changed jobs in the last 90 days. 9 of them have been mentioned in the news in the last 30 days. So if you want to go and click this, you could actually find people who have been mentioned in the news and then actually use that as a footing. So what you could actually do is actually find these 9 people and use the mention in the news as a foot in the door type of method. So you can actually say, hey, I noticed that you was mentioned on timesreview.com. I thought it was a great article about you, blah, 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 and get your foot in the door that way. And as you can see on the right hand side, there's 260 of these people who have posted on LinkedIn in the last 30 days. So this right here is like the most targeted of the targeted of the targeted you could possibly get, because they are active on LinkedIn. They are in New York, they are 2nd and 3rd degree connects. They are a seniority level of owner, director, and that sort of decision making type of role. And basically these are going to be very good leads to reach out to. As you can see, these are all third degree connections. Now to connect with somebody, you obviously go and click on their profile and you can check them out, of course. So as you can see, this guy Joe Kelly is a licensed realtor at Newman Real Estate. So if you want to, you can go ahead and open this and it will give you information about his company. So as you can see that I've clicked Newman Real Estate. Straight away we can see that we can see its details. Basically, if we want to read about the company, we might actually find a way to use a bit of this information to again use as a way to get our foot in the door. And as we can see, we can see the employees who are on LinkedIn for this company, which is great because we can actually headhunt for the guy that owns it. But we can already see that this guy has his name's Chip Newman, which says he's a partner, and we can already see that right from his name, it's the exact same name as the real estate agency, the same as the company. And we can also see Heather Newman here. We can see Kyle Newman. So it looks like it's a family run agency. So we can actually put all these down in a CRM system if we wanted to and reach out to them one by one, or we could just go straight for the head guy, which it looks like is Chip Newman right off the bat, of course. Again, you want to do your research, so you can actually go to their website, check out all their information and stuff like that. So as you can see, we've gone back onto Joe Kelly. Now, if you want to go ahead and send this guy a message, I personally wouldn't. I would actually go ahead and send Chip, because he's already been, he already says that he's a partner in this business. So he probably has that decision making role. Now that we're on this guy's profile, we can see all of his information and stuff like that. He's actually got a website, so we can actually visit that if we wanted to. But to send a connection request, we basically we press this little three dots here and send a connection request. Now, the best thing about LinkedIn Premium is that there's much higher limits to sending connection requests and stuff like that. So by now you're probably wondering what's the difference between normal LinkedIn and LinkedIn Premium, or I've actually got the Sales Navigator version. So this is Sales Navigator and this is the normal LinkedIn. Basically, you can do around the same things as in terms of the search. However, Sales Navigator is far more advanced when it comes to breaking down the searches and filtering them out, like I've shown you before, where you can basically use this advanced search here or this bit here. So I'll actually show you what I mean. Let's see. I'm just going to show you a couple of differences. You see the size of all these different search filter parameters you have. Whereas if we go over to this one and we do the same thing, we find all the filters at the top here. You can see it is quite limited. There's no area where you can select the seniority level, which is absolutely key when it comes to building a social media marketing agency, because you want to be talking to the decision maker and not anybody else. So that's one of the main differences. There's actually a commercial use limit now, because you're going to be using LinkedIn for prospecting. LinkedIn basically knows that by basically our activities on LinkedIn, and basically it limits us to a certain number of searches. Now, even LinkedIn says it themselves that basically they have a commercial use limit and they aren't allowed to basically disclose that actual number. But to break this limit, you actually have to upgrade to Premium, Business, Recruiter or Sales Navigator and stuff like that. So I highly recommend Sales Navigator over the normal LinkedIn because of the functionality and the higher limits and stuff like that. So without a doubt, it's, to me, probably 100% worth it. Even if it just helps you close one client, it's paid for itself for a whole lifetime. If you close a good client that lasts a year or something like that, it's probably paid for itself for a lifetime. So basically that was just a quick look on how I go about looking for leads. Now I actually go through these leads and prospect them properly, or I'll go ahead and automate that, but that's a whole other video where I basically send out connection requests on autopilot and basically sit back and generate discovery calls and whatnot. So I'm going to see you back on camera just to wrap up this video. Okay, so that's all for today's video, guys. I hope that you've really enjoyed this, and I hope that you can take some value from this. And for those who are looking to step up their LinkedIn game to the max, I'm actually hosting a couple of coaching calls where I'm going to teach you how to automate LinkedIn so you can do your connection request on autopilot and basically leave it running in the background. It will send out, connection requests on its own. It will view profiles on its own, and it will basically follow up on its own. So if you want to learn how to do that, please send me a message and we will get you hooked up with all my scripts, templates, all that sort of stuff, and what I'm doing to actually automate LinkedIn and automate my social media marketing agency as a whole. So for those who are interested, the link is in the description, or just send me a message on Instagram. But that's all for today's video, and I hope to see you soon in the next one, which I definitely will, because I'm pushing out a lot of content these days and I'm going to try to keep that up for you guys. So that's all for today's video. Hope you've enjoyed. Please drop me a like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.